things. It was Amber and Kelly, Stephanie, Kelsey I played with at Athletes Unlimited for several years. Love Caitlin's game, love Aaliyah's game. It made sense. I made this decision.
Sydney Colson just flipped the script on one of the most talked about controversies in the WNBA. With the world watching, she didn't just deny the veteran resentment toward Caitlin Clark, she embraced it. What she said next about the fever's rise and the pressure of the spotlight will leave you speechless. For weeks, the narrative has been building. WNBA veterans are bitter about Caitlin Clark's meteoric rise. Social media has been flooded with debates, accusations, and heated argument. And then, Sydney Colson steps up to the mic. But instead of confirming what many expected, she delivers a response that leaves the entire room stunned.
I wish we had more people talking about our team. Well, then come in and bust their when you come here and they'll talk about you.
The press conference wasn't just another media event, it was a pressure cooker. Journalists packed in, cameras ready, waiting to see if Colson would finally give them what they wanted, a confession that Clark's popularity had rubbed veteran players the wrong way. The tension was impossible to ignore. For days, online debates had raged. Was there jealousy? Were veteran players intentionally sidelining Clark? Speculation ran wild, and Colson knew it. But as she sat down, her expression didn't give anything away. And then, she spoke.
Just bringing different people in, you have some veteran leadership and you have some winning experience.
No fluff, no rehearsed, diplomatic answers. Colson's response was sharp, direct, and it caught everyone off guard. She didn't tiptoe around the controversy, she bulldozed through it. According to her, the entire anti-Clark narrative was nothing more than manufactured outrage. She called it exaggerated and blown out of proportion, making it clear that the real issue wasn't resentment, it was something else entirely. But what she said next turned the conversation in a direction no one saw coming. Colson didn't just dismiss the controversy, she threw it back at the media. She accused reporters of fueling division, pushing a false narrative to stir up drama. According to her, this wasn't about veterans hating Clark, it was about the media cherry-picking moments and twisting them for clicks.
Felt like, when something just feels right. It felt like it was going to be the right fit. And then like you said, my last few seasons in the W, I wasn't even expecting to make it this long in the league, yet alone get 2 championships so late in my career.
She pointed out how tensions exist in every competitive league, yet the WNBA was being painted as a league at war with itself. And then, with one sentence, she flipped the entire discussion on its head. If Caitlin Clark wasn't Caitlin Clark, would we even be having this conversation? The room fell silent. The response was immediate. Some praised Colson for exposing the media's role in fueling division. Others claimed she was dodging the real issue. But one thing was clear, she wasn't afraid to call out the hypocrisy. Meanwhile, the debate online only intensified. Had Colson just ended the discussion? Or did her comments reveal a deeper truth the league didn't want to address? Either way, one thing was certain, Colson's press conference didn't just answer questions. It raised even bigger ones. And the fallout? That's only just beginning.
It makes players want to come here. I think that's how we had the free agency that we had, because people see that they're bought in and they want to win.
I think that
For weeks, people speculated about how WNBA veterans truly felt about Caitlin Clark's explosive rise. Were they bitter, resentful, ready to tear her down? Then, Sydney Colson stepped up and put the rumors to rest in just a few words. And her response? It was nothing like what people expected. Colson didn't dodge the question. She didn't downplay the hype. Instead, she leaned into it. When asked about Clark's impact, she called it nuts, not in frustration, but in awe. She wasn't just acknowledging the buzz, she was stunned by it. And for good reason. The Fever, a team that barely made headlines before Clark arrived, is now one of the most talked about franchises in women's basketball. Ticket sales? Through the roof. TV ratings? Breaking records. And the craziest part? It's only the beginning. Colson didn't stop at sports. She pointed out something few people had really thought about, Clark's impact on the economy. It wasn't just about packed stadiums. It was about hotels being booked solid, restaurants flooded with fans, flights coming in just for a single game. People weren't just watching Clark. They were traveling for her, spending money for her, boosting an entire city's economy for her. And Colson made it clear, this wasn't normal.
I'm super excited. I got to see the gym facility today, see some of the players. Tomorrow we're going to work out, so it's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun season.
This was history in the making. With that kind of impact, you'd think every player in the league would be celebrating. But here's the truth, some aren't. some can't bring themselves to say what Colson did out loud. Instead of embracing the moment, they downplay it. They act like Clark is just another rookie. They pretend this kind of phenomenon happens all the time. But Colson, she wasn't afraid to give credit where it was due. And that's exactly why her words hit so hard. Colson's response did more than just highlight Clark's success. It exposed the divide. The players who see this as a once-in-a-generation moment, and the ones who refuse to acknowledge it. So now, the question isn't about whether Clark is changing the WNBA. That's obvious. The real question is, who's willing to admit it? And who's too bitter to say the truth out loud? Is it Angel Reese? Is it Aya Wilson? Or is it Natasha Cloud? Because after Colson's words, there's no hiding anymore. While all eyes are on the young stars, Sydney Colson isn't fighting for attention. She knows exactly why she's on this team, and it's not for flashy stats or highlight reels. She's here to lead, to guide, to bring the kind of impact that doesn't always show up on the scoreboard but wins games when it matters most. But not everyone respects that. Colson isn't the kind of player who needs 30 minutes a night to prove her worth. She's seen every side of the league, big wins, tough losses, rebuilding years, and championship runs. And she brings something that rookies can't: experience. She sets the tone in the locker room. She keeps the energy high. And when things get tough, she's the one player looked to for composure. But does she get credit for it? Not always. Some players measure their success in points, others in playing time. But Colson, she measures it in something bigger and consistency. And that is something in today's game that no one cares about. She said it herself, it doesn't matter if she plays 2 minutes or 15 minutes. Her job is the same every night. Be the leader, bring the energy, lock in on defense, and above all, be dependable.
It was to bring in veteran leadership, and we've done that. Players who have had deep playoff runs, we've done that. You look at a player like Sydney Colson, coming off what she's been able to do in Vegas, dating back to her, championship.
That kind of mindset isn't flashy. It doesn't make headline, but teams don't win without it. And with a team like Fever, she is well loved and respected. Here's the reality: players like Colson don't always get the respect they deserve until they're missing. Until the locker room feels different. Until the team's chemistry starts slipping. Because leadership, it's not something you see on a highlight reel. It's something you feel when the game is on the line. And Colson understands that better than anyone. At the end of the day, Colson's not here for personal accolades. She's made it clear, her only focus is winning. She's not demanding minutes. She's not chasing stats. She's doing what every great veteran does, making sure the team is ready to win, whether she's on the court or not. And that's the kind of presence you can't replace. For weeks, critics claimed Caitlin Clark was overhyped, that the Indiana Fever didn't deserve the attention they were getting. But Sydney Colson? She shut that down with just one sentence. She called the Indiana Fever arguably the most talked about team in sports. But not everyone was happy about that. A year ago, nobody cared about the Indiana Fever. They were just another struggling franchise. Empty seats, low ratings, a team barely making headlines. Then Caitlin Clark happened.
Now we'll be home.
I'm super excited about it. I'm going from a team that was a very in the media, like people are excited to watch us, into another team that is arguably the most talked about team in sports right now, especially in women's sports. So this fan base.
You'd think every player on the Fever would be celebrating their new reality. More eyes on the team means more opportunities, more money, and a bigger platform. Some players resent the attention. Players like Angel Reese has publicly said that she isn't the only person that people are excited to see in the WNBA. Obviously, it was a shot at Caitlin Clark also joining the league the same year that she did. Colson also said they don't like that Caitlin Clark's name is the one being chanted in every arena. They don't like that reporters barely ask about anyone else. And instead of embracing the moment, they're looking for ways to downplay it. Colson? She's not wasting time with jealousy. She sees the big picture. And that's what makes her different. When Colson called the Fever the most talked about team in sports, she wasn't just stating a fact, she was sending a message. She was letting the world know that this isn't just hype. This isn't just a temporary media craze. This is real, and it's only getting bigger. But by saying that out loud, she also revealed something else: who's willing to accept reality, and who's still pretending nothing has changed. Colson made her stance clear. She's here for the ride. She's here for the attention, the pressure, the chaos that comes with being part of something bigger than basketball. And she is also here for the hate. But what about the ones who aren't? What happens to the players who can't handle the shift? The ones who feel overshadowed? The ones who would rather see Clark fail than admit she's changed the game? Because after Colson's words, there's no more room to hide.
I'm super excited about it. I'm going from a team that was a very in the media, like people were excited to watch us, into another team that is arguably the most talked about team in sports right now, especially in women's sports. So this fan base.
And the ones still in denial, they'll be the first to get left behind. For months, critics pushed the same tired narrative. WNBA veterans don't want Caitlin Clark in the league. They don't respect her. They won't welcome her. And who led the charge? None other than Cheryl Swoops, who claimed seasoned players wouldn't want to play alongside Clark. But Sydney Colson? She just dismantled that idea in seconds. From the moment Clark entered the league, the conversation wasn't about her game. It was about whether veterans would accept her. Some said she was too hyped. Others implied she hadn't earned her place yet. And people like Swoops made it sound like Clark would be walking into a hostile locker room. She didn't just defend Clark, she praised her. She called her remarkable, a serious talent, a player who makes the game better. And she wasn't saying it through gritted teeth. She meant it. The veterans who want this moment. Colson isn't just talking, she's proving that the veterans aren't running from this moment. They're embracing it. While others like Cheryl Swoops and Angel Reese whine about the media attention, Colson is taking it all in. She knows this is what the league has been waiting for, but not everyone is ready to admit that. For years, WNBA veterans have begged for more fans, more money, more recognition. Now they have it. And suddenly, some of them don't seem so thrilled, because Colson just exposed them all. Swoops and Angel and the critics just lost their argument. Meanwhile, the ones still clinging to this tired debate, they're looking more out of touch by the day. Because at this point, the truth is obvious. Caitlin Clark isn't the problem. The people who can't handle her success are. Let's be real, this isn't about basketball anymore. It's about control. For years, Sydney Colson played for teams that often flew under the radar. But now, with the Indiana Fever, she's at the heart of the WNBA's biggest spectacle. The arrival of Caitlin Clark has transformed the Fever into a media sensation, and Colson is ready to seize this moment. Certain players don't like that they're no longer the center of attention. They don't like that a new wave of talent has arrived and changed the game overnight. And instead of raising their level, they're making excuses. But deep down, they know the league is moving forward, with or without them. With the season approaching, Colson and the Fever are preparing to capitalize on this momentum. The prospect of playing in sold-out arenas is both a challenge and an opportunity, one that Colson is eager to embrace. Her journey from underappreciated teams to the center of the WNBA spotlight is a testament to resilience and readiness for the big stage. Her embrace of the team's newfound attention and her dedication to leadership and winning proves that she's not just playing for herself, she's playing for the future of the WNBA. Make sure to subscribe for more content as we continue to break down the biggest stories in sports and the incredible players leading the charge. Stay tuned.